Hi, and welcome to another edition of Crypto Corner. I am Greg Harriman. I am your host, and I am super stoked to be here. Some people I think would go super stoked. The market's down, Bitcoin's down, everything is down. My answer to that is that's our whole philosophy: safe, secure, and able to sleep. And because we are in coins that we're not worried about and we know will go over time, we'll be in a really good spot, we're not going to be worried about it. So we're buying at some lower levels. We're holding on, and quarter three next year, hopefully, we will have doubled our money. So once again, welcome to the Wild West, and let's just get right into it. And actually, let's come back here to our first page. And one thing, and I just mentioned it, Bitcoin is dropping. As Bitcoin drops, a lot of our coins are going to drop because they're tier ones and they're safe coins. So as Bitcoin goes, these go. Bitcoin, if you remember, just a couple of weeks ago was at 29,000. It's at 26,000 right now. So there's a 10% drop ish. And they, we don't know that it's done yet. We bought some Bitcoin at 29,000 and we bought some Bitcoin at 27.5. We also bought some just recently at 26 too. We will buy all the way down to 24, and that's where like we've incremented it out and said we're spending 6% here, 5% here, and this is and guess what? If it doesn't hit 24 and it hits 26 and then it's up to 28 and then it's up to 29 and then 31, we'll decide whether we want to put that money in there or whether we missed the opportunity before. And but that's the beauty of kind of the system that we've set up. So Bitcoin's down. We think part of that's because we've entered what's called the depression phase of the cycle of the Wall Street cycle. So here's the cheat sheet that I was just referencing to. And you'll see the blue arrow over on the right saying we believe we've entered the depression phase and that Bitcoin will go down, market will go down, and then it will start to climb. We'll go from depression to disbelief and then into hope and then into optimum, and then belief, and then thrill, and euphoria. And just so you know, as we get into about the belief phase, we should be up about 60%. We should be deciding whether we're taking some profits or not. Long before we get to euphoria, we should be at our 100% mark, which is our goal, and we should have already taken profits. Will we top it perfectly? Nope, we don't care. What we are trying to do is we're trying to get to that 100%. And if we get to the 100%, a lot of what we're going to do is we're going to take that profit and we're going to say that was our goal. And we're going to, in my opinion, I'll be happy with that. Um, but in between times, all this depression phase just makes people want to get out of the market. It makes them crazy, and they feel like, oh, I can't ever win. We don't feel that, and you'll see as we go along. Let's pop into, DOT as a great example. Right now in our range, we see that it's $4 to $6. We're at 441, but we bought at $5. We bought higher than that. We'll buy all the way down to $4. That's in our range. We'll probably buy it down to 350 if it would go that far. Um, and part of the reason is that with DOT, we're getting 11% on our money. So every time that a week goes by and it stays low, we're getting 11% on our money for that week. And then they buy in at those low numbers. That's a bonus for us. So we kind of like it, but sooner or later, what we want is to double our money. And so we want DOT to go up, obviously. Okay, then on to Adam. Adam's been a little bit of a disappointment to me lately, mostly because I felt like Adam was going to go on a nice little run there, and you can see, with the chart that it popped up. It had a big red wick down right here, three-quarters of the way through the chart, um, and then it started to go up, and it had a nice little run there, but I was hoping it would get up to resistance at, somewhere around 880 or something like that. We could sell off and then it would come back down. It didn't quite get there, so we didn't really sell. But again, we have a lot of conviction on Atom, and we know that we're getting 12% staking. So once again, if it stays down here and we're buying every week at this low range, then we're pretty happy. That's going to count towards our 100% doubling our money. Matic, another, as Bitcoin goes, so does Matic, and Matic is just taking it on the chin right now. We've seen it, from all the way from 75 plus cents all the way down, and we have some, I think it's 72 cents, all the way down to where we are now. But we haven't bought in a couple weeks, and we told you that we weren't buying in a couple weeks. So um, we're looking at it and saying if it gets down to 53 or 0.50, we're looking at, well, now we have more reason to jump in because we feel like we will get it that quick 10% gain just by bouncing when Bitcoin finally decides to wake up. Solana, if you remember right, back when we started in June, we got it right at 1650. We sold off at 23, 24. It went all the way to 26. We didn't catch the top. We don't ever plan on doing that. We've been waiting to buy since. We're still not buying because at 2097, uh, and that means it's come down 30%, right? From its recent highs, and which again isn't a huge surprise to us. And we think that it can go all the way back as a minimum to 19, but we think it might even go a little below that. And if we don't get it, like we said before, we have conviction. We could buy this back at 26 if we thought it was going on the bull run because we think it's going to go to $55. So if we miss the first part of it, we just buy in a little bit later. We're not worried. One thing to note here as a technical analysis is that 200-day moving average, which is the blue line that goes across, when that 200-day moving average, and we've been saying it for 2 weeks now, we want those to converge. Guess what? It finally converged. We still don't have enough conviction to buy in here. But that's a really good sign. We said that was going to happen, and it happened. You should be able to predict where you're going, see where it is, and then activate on that. Uh, Jumping over here, I took the charts and I got rid of some of the garbage. And what do I want you to get out of this? First, don't panic. Look, a lot of these are down. They're down. Some of them are down 20%. Solana, if for whatever reason you had bought at the top of that range, you'd be down right now. And what we want to do is we want to say what are we doing that we think is smart. We're buying right now. A lot of people buy weekly. So as you buy weekly, you're buying at these lower rates, which is dollar cost averaging in. That's DCAing, right? When you dollar cost average in and you bought at $6 and then you bought at 5, if you bought equal amounts, your now dollar cost average is 550 instead of 6. And then what we want to do is on top of that, we're getting 11% staking, which is awesome, which means that we're buying more tokens, which not with our money, we're buying it with staking money. They give us that money. So like if you had $1,000 and you were getting 11% staking, you'd get $110. So you'd get $10 a month. So in this particular case, you'd be getting um, 3 shares, 2 shares per month at $8. Well, we think that that's a dot. Um, we think that's going to double, so that 2 shares is going to be worth, instead of 8, it's going to be worth $16. And no one, and that's none of your money. That's all of what was used by staking and by having it in the right spot, doing the right thing. Um, and same with Atom. So like right now, when we look at this, if we could only pick two coins, we would pick Dot and Atom, and we would keep buying and dollar costing down until the like if Dot went below 350, we'd probably stop buying, and that would be our range. Then we'd have to start looking at risk management. If Atom, it's at 749, so it's below the $8, which we think is one of the best buys that we're going to see before the bull run. But if it got to 680, we would start saying, okay, where's our risk management? Is there something else that's going on beyond that? But you'll see Matic is right in our range. Sol is not in our range, so we said it's not a buy. Bitcoin fell within our range. Remember, we were buying at 29,000. I still think 29,000. We'll look back on $29,000 Bitcoin and go, man, we should have bought more. But again, VRA is right in our range, a little below. Super's just below. Render is actually at 136. We were looking at buying at 160, and we were thinking that was a really good deal because Render has the deal with Apple, and everything that has to go into the metaverse and everything that goes into Web3 has to be rendered. That's the program that does it. So, and they have a contract with Apple. So when you look at that stuff, you go, okay, these are, Bitcoin's just coming down. These coins are coming down because they're with Bitcoin, not because they're having a problem. It's mostly due to Bitcoin. Gala Games is right in our range, and STX we mentioned a couple weeks ago. We stopped buying. We got stopped out at 63 cents. And then we haven't bought back since. We think this could actually go down as low as 40. If it gets to 40, now we'll actually switch. I'll stop buying Atom and start buying STX because the upside of that 47 or 40 cents, we might be able to double that money before we even get into the bull run. So that's what our thinking is. And I just wanted to show you guys, look, when you're going on a bull run, this is a bull run for Bitcoin. During that time, 6 times during that bull run, it went backwards 30+%. 6 times. And that's a 2-year period from I think it's 16 to 18. Yeah. From 16 to 18, it went down 6 times, 30% or more. And yet at that same time, it doubled. So don't be afraid of, that's partly why they call it the Wild West. Don't be afraid of the 30%. I mean, it's not pleasant and it's like getting socked in the mouth. But at the end, what you got to do is you got to say, where do we think we're going? And this is what we think is literally going to happen to our coins going through the depression phase into the hope phase into the making money phase. We think that and let me just come back here for a second. um, all of these you'll see that they have drops, and some of these drops will be 20 to 30%. So we're in here, we're at actually here, and we got to go sideways for a little bit. This is going to go down, but even when it's going down, you'll see that the overall trend starts from now, starts to be positive. So maybe a 6% positive while you're getting 10 to 12% drops here and there. And then once we get into this hope phase, then you're going to see like gains like you won't believe. There'll be days that it'll be 30% in a day. It'll just do that for days on end. And then pretty soon, what our goal is that's when we're going to start saying, look, we're at 70%. Do we take a little off the table? Do we, but during that whole time, what I hope that we can help each other with is the fact that at some point we think this, it's getting overbought. We might sell some of our Atom position and then buy it back down. And then we might sell some of ours and buy it back down. And like Solana's a good show of that, where Solana was say here at 16, went all the way to 29, I think, and we sold off at 26, and it's come all the way back down to 20. That we shouldn't think that's unusual. We should think that's normal. So hopefully this gives you a good example of this is going to happen. If you don't think this is going to happen, you probably shouldn't be in crypto. I kept these slides in from last week. Just to show, look, we were picking up Bitcoin at 29,000. We're not sitting here going, oh no, we only buy low. We dollar cost average into our product. We look at a 2 year time frame. Overall, we've been doing it for about 2 years. We're 1 year into that 2 years, and we think the next year we will double our money by dollar cost averaging in as we go. Don't spend all your money at once. Know your circle. Last week we went over 65% into safe, 20% into layer ones, 10% into a little more riskier, and then 5% into really risky. And what we hope is as we're going along and we double our money, we then that means your risky portion is doubled. Or if you decided instead of 65%, you only want 45% in Bitcoin and stuff, and you want more into those layer ones, well, that'll be up to you. And there'll be more money to do it with. So we like our ratio, and we'll probably pretty much stay with our ratio. Um, but in your case, again, it's your money. You obviously do with it as you want. There's we already mentioned render. We did take a position, just so you guys know. We took a position on QNT at $98, and we knew it was going to be go below 100. It's right about $98 still this week. So um, we'll have to see. Again, we think that's a buy and sell. We're not holding that forever. We're hoping to make 10 to 20% on it in the next 2 months. Okay. As always, this isn't financial advice, but just a few things to think about. Dot still as low as it's been in a year. Atom hitting lows, and just like we showed you those other charts, Atom last time it hit these lows went up 30%, just like that Bitcoin chart I showed you. So we're in for the long term. We know our ranges, we know what our conviction is, we know where we want to go, and we hope that you're joining us and that you're having a good time on the journey. That you're able to sleep at night. You don't have to pick up your phone and say, "Oh, I wonder where we are." We already have said we're going down. We're buying all the way to the bottom of our ranges. We're getting close to that. We're in the depression phase. We're in that now. We're not getting close to that. I feel like we're in the depression phase. We've got a sideways action, I think, all the way through September. I think October will pick up a little bit between October and November. And then we'll go down a little bit. And in January, we will really start seeing that next phase of the run. Again, that's one man's opinion. We'll see where that ends. But we hope that what you're getting out of this is some learning. I have listened to your comments. People are writing to me about cold wallets. I am going to do a section on cold wallets. We're going to see. I have a cold wallet. I'm going to show you my cold wallet. How does it work? How much does it cost? Where do you get it? What does it look like? That kind of thing. And then because people get hacked along the way, and I went over that in a different episode. And you don't want to be, if you have a cold wallet, as a general rule, you can't get hacked unless you do something to create it. So we hope that you're enjoying the channel, that you're getting something out of it, and we're going to keep doing it. We're enjoying ourselves, or we think that we're right on pace where we thought we would be from June, and we're excited actually to get to January. In between times, we hope to be doing some trading. Right now, it just seems like it's going down, but as we buy at these lower levels, we think it'll go up. It will come back down at least one more time, if not two more times, and then at that point, we hope that we have 20% more in the bank for the bull run. That's our goal. So once again, thank you for joining Crypto Corner. I'm Greg Harriman, your host, and we will see you next time.